Saudi Arabia and video games. At first, it might sound like a strange pairing, but in just a few years, Saudi Arabia has quietly become one of the most influential players in the global gaming industry. Billions of dollars are being poured into buying up gaming studios and esports companies around the world. The Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund now owns decent shares in Nintendo, Capcom, Take-Two Interactive, the parent company of Rockstar Games, and recently you might have heard Saudi Arabia has been making headlines for outright buying Electronic Arts, better known as EA Sports. It's in the game. But yeah, the company behind FIFA, Madden, The Sims, Battlefield, Mass Effect, and more. That deal is the second biggest gaming acquisition in history, falling just shy of Microsoft's $69 billion deal to buy Call of Duty publisher Activision Blizzard. And if you guys remember, that was a huge controversy at the time because they had to go through significant battles with global regulators, and the UK specifically raised a lot of concern about this being horrible for competition. So what's happening? There's this company that's been founded by the Saudi public investment fund called Savvy Games Group. It's buying up everything from mobile game studios to live esports tournaments. For decades, Saudi Arabia's economy mainly revolved around a single resource: oil. But as the world shifts towards renewable energy, the kingdom recognized that this foundation is looking a bit shaky. So under the current Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, also known as MBS for short, the government launched Vision 2030, a plan to diversify the economy and redefine the kingdom's image. And somewhat unexpectedly, gaming has become one of its key pillars. Apparently, MBS himself is a gamer.
When you want to relax, like what do you have fun doing?
Video games.
Oh, what's that? Video games.
Video games.
You're a big gamer.
Since I'm a kid, I love it.
Really?
Yeah, it disconnects me from reality.
A fan of FIFA and online games, in 2022, he says he wants Saudi Arabia to become the global hub for gaming and esports by 2030.
So, and there's a big video game part of your ministry, right? There's out of sports?
Esports is one of the most important things happening globally. It's the one of the most growing industry in the planet. It grows by 30% every year. So the return of PIF investment, every year we have 15 to 25% of profit. So it's really amazing, and we don't want to miss that.
At the center of this push is Savvy Games, which has been given a $38 billion budget to build its gaming empire. Other than what we've already talked about, Savvy also owns Scopely, the studio behind Monopoly Go, and it's acquired the gaming division of Niantic, the company behind Pokemon Go. Saudi also poured money into Embracer Group, which owns studios behind Tomb Raider and Borderlands. And there's much more, but I think you get the point. Saudi is throwing money, buying up the companies that own the studios that make the games you enjoy. The plan aims to contribute $13 billion to the country's GDP in 10 years. To get there, Saudi also bought two of the biggest esports companies in the world, ESL and Faceit, for $1.5 billion. It's estimated that Saudi currently owns 40% of the esports market. Domestically, the government hopes that all of this will create 39,000 gaming jobs by 2030, turning gaming into a real career path for young Saudis. It's an audacious plan, but not without its controversy. So many people are angry about this, saying that it's not only about profit, it's about power and influence. Critics argue the country wants to reshape its global image by influencing art and entertainment. Media and culture has become one of the most potent forms of soft power, and Saudi Arabia, with its investments in film, sports, and now gaming, understands this very well.
What do you say to the people who charge that that's part of sports washing, that you're trying to use all of that to somehow improve or somehow affect your image in the world?
Well, if it's sport washing going to increase my GDP by 1%, and then I will continue doing sport washing.
You're okay with that term?
I don't care. I have 1% growth of GDP from sport, and I'm aiming for another 1.5%. Call it whatever you want.
The second point I'm seeing everywhere has less to do with politics and more to do with how the games themselves will turn out. But there is an opportunity for Saudi to do something good here. There are roughly 400 million Arabic-speaking people across the world. Yet Arabic folklore, mythology, and stories are still barely visible in mainstream entertainment, especially gaming. If done right, and that's a big if, Saudi could fill that gap and bring new interesting stories to the global stage. Look at what Game Science did with Black Myth Wukong. Based on ancient Chinese mythology, it became an an international success because it brought something new to an industry that's begging for something new. I think when it comes to massive acquisitions in general, under new owners, people get nervous because no one knows how they will interfere with the art. Obviously there are differences, but let's look at what Microsoft did. They bought up so many studios and suddenly a lot of these games became cluttered with microtransactions and had a little bit less soul. And games like Perfect Dark and Everwild are shut down along with countless studios that had the potential to create something really great. So that's the dilemma. New owners can help, but they can also ruin something very special. And it's generally not good for innovation when so many studios are owned by so few people. It's terrible for the consumer, and that's how you get lazy innovation in the space. Now again, Microsoft's case is different because no matter how good or bad they are at playing the game, Microsoft is just trying to optimize to make the most money possible. Saudi, on the other hand, is probably going to be optimizing not only for money. It's likely also going to be a tool to rehabilitate the country's image. And some fans are already seeing signs of this. Ubisoft announced a partnership with Saudi to create new DLC for Assassin's Creed Mirage. The base game is set in Baghdad, but the developers are setting this DLC in Saudi's ancient city of Al-Ula, which coincidentally the kingdom is heavily promoting as a tourist destination. And honestly, to me, this looks pretty cool, and it's a smart marketing move. But it also blurs the line between creative storytelling and national interests. And people can usually tell when they're playing an ad. The best art requires creative freedom, and only time will tell if Saudi is able to provide that to the studios that it acquires. I really hope it does, because in the end, there is a good opportunity here. If they get this right, it could be huge for gaming and the Arab world as a whole, giving space to stories and voices that global gaming has long ignored. But if these studios turn into nothing more than advertising platforms, then it'll be a waste of money and maybe even the downfall of these studios. Again, only time will tell. What do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe because it helps out the channel. Thanks for watching.